What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of 360 Sports. Today, we got the Frenzy Show. You got myself, Jacob, Pat, Austin, and Ben. We're going to get right into it. We had a busy weekend last week. What's the greatest show in sports?
UFC.
The Sugar Show. Come on. You know it. UFC 306.
I should have picked that one
It was just last weekend in Las Vegas at the Sphere. But our boy Sean, he got dismantled. Marab killed him. What do you think about that?
It's like a ragdoll out there.
Yeah, I got to collect my thoughts so I don't act on emotion because it hurt to watch. It was the worst performance I've ever seen in a championship fight from somebody I thought was going to do a whole lot better. It looked like the moment was way too big for Sean. I just didn't know what his game plan was going into it.
Yep.
He had one round, I think he might have gotten the win on that round, which was round 3. He kind of knocked him, but didn't follow up on anything. And the rest, he was just getting rocked over the place. He says he's got a hip injury. Of course you are, because you're getting hip dropped every single round.
Yeah, hip surgery.
He got stunned a couple times throughout the fight. Obviously, taken down 6 times, controlled for 10 minutes. It was unbelievable, in my opinion. I thought Sean O'Malley was actually going to knock him out early into the fight, put all the Marab, whatever. You know, I know you're a hater of Marab.
Big one.
I was shocked, and then I heard obviously the hip surgery. That kind of like, okay, that's what happened. That's why this result happened. And I guess, you know, Marab, undisputed champ now.
Yeah, just a stat I want to throw out there. Marab had 10 minutes of control compared to Sean's 0. Sean landed 47 significant strikes to Marab's 82. 214 total strikes from Marab, 49 for Sean O'Malley. That's embarrassing.
This is 2 years of trash talking from Sean O'Malley saying he's going to beat him the first 2 rounds, and then there's no performance. I'm not taking the hip injury as an excuse at all. He just looked like the moment was way too big for him. Like that sphere the lights were way too bright, and he just wasn't the same fighter.
Maybe he should focus on his opponent instead of going on the Full Send podcast the day before the fight.
It's awesome. All right, I also want to ask you guys a little bit brief before that. What do you guys think about the other fights in the card? We had Diego Lopez showing himself what he can do. What do you think about Diego Lopez?
Diego Lopez can't fight.
Wow.
But he's one of the best fighters in the bantamweight division. Right? I don't understand how this guy's actually decent at fighting. He doesn't look like he knows what he's doing at all. He can't wrestle. He can't really swing that hard. But he does. He makes contact. He just puts his head down and fights. Every once in a while we get a fighter in the UFC that's just a brawler, and they make fights happen that way. I don't see him going very far. I don't think he's going to be a champion, but it's entertaining.
I love fighters like that, too, the ones that are just going to go in there, lay the hammer, brawl. Obviously, Brian Ortega. This fight was scheduled for, what, like 2 months ago?
2 months ago.
Ortega got hurt, comes back here for the Sphere. Like you said, Lopez kind of just goes in there, looks all disoriented, but in the end gets the win, decision. A lot of decisions on this card, too.
Can we talk about how Ortega might have the worst strike defense of all time? Yeah. Like, I don't even think it's close.
He looked
it's in every single fight he has. Against Yair, against Volpe, against Max. He gets hit like 140 times per fight. It's ridiculous.
This fight, he got hit 113 times.
Exactly. It's a 3-round fight.
Definitely not the strategy to success. What do you guys think about the Sphere? I thought it was a super cool environment, but honestly, I was expecting a little bit more.
I was, too.
Yeah.
I think the card was Dana basically played it up to be this magical event and everything. It was downplayed to that. You had 5 or 10 rounds of boring fighting. The last 2 fights between Grasso and Shevchenko, and obviously O'Malley, Dvalishvili, both went to decision. Both of them had controlled their opponents for about 20 minutes combined. The little movies in between all the events, I'm like, what is this?
Yeah, see, I'm going to disagree with you on that. The card was pretty mid. I'm not going to lie.
It was
but I'm sitting there on my couch at home looking at the TV going, whoa, the entire time. I thought all the film, the movies, how spectacular it was really made it a fun card, and I think they should do it again, just with better fights.
I got you.
One more thing, though, with that. I feel like what Dana White does and the UFC does, they put like these trash cards on like these big events just like this one because they know people are going to watch it. So they're not going to put, obviously, John Jones on a card like this because they can use him somewhere else and things like that.
Talking about this trash card, we got some great ones coming up, starting off at UFC 308. We got the main card. Come on, we all wanted to see it. Ilia Topuria versus Max Holloway. It's the main card. It's going to be a great fight. Probably 2 of the best strikers there. What do you guys think about it?
Abu Dhabi, right? So I think this card's going to be early start time. This card's absolutely loaded. I'm looking here. Ilia Topuria, Max Holloway, the main event, obviously. Robert Whittaker, Khamzat Chimaev finally happening. That was supposed to be in the summer. That fight's now. I'm glad they're doing it again. Cyril Gane, Volkov coming off of a big win over Sergey Pavlovich. Ankalaev.
I mean,
your boy Rakic.
I love Rakic. I think this card is stacked from head to toe. They always do that for the Abu Dhabi cards. It stinks how it's always on game day, and I never really get to watch the full thing unless I'm at a tailgate with my phone out, which stinks. But Max Holloway is my second favorite fighter of all time. Yeah. I'm excited. I think it's a difficult fight for Max. I think it's a very winnable fight for him, but I'm excited to see what happens.
Yep. So that's 308, and then 309, we got John Bones Jones. Is he really going to fight? I don't know. I guess we'll see. We also got Charles Oliveira in that card. Got Bo Nickel. It's going to be a cool card. I guess we'll see what happens. It's definitely going to be more exciting than 306.
It's going to be the biggest slaughter of all time.
You think so?
Yeah, you're putting him against a 41-year-old Stipe Miocic.
Here's my take on that. I don't hope it happens, but if it does happen, I wouldn't be opposed to it. I want Stipe out, Aspinall in, something like injury in training camp. I don't hope injury on anybody, but for the sake of our entertainment, I hope Aspinall gets in there and fights John Jones and MSG.
John Jones has been ducking him forever, but
you see that tweet they put out? They tricked him into releasing that tweet, and he said most title fights in the in the little shadow. It said, "I'm ducking Tom Aspinall."
Terrible. All right, moving on. We got the MLB. For Yankees fans, it was a great evening. Good evening to all of you. The Yankees, the chase for 28 is finally upon us as the Yanks clinch the playoff spot after a 10-inning 2-1 win over the Mariners. And then also, we do have the Milwaukee Brewers, and we got to shout them out. Clinched the NL Central with the Cubs losing to the Athletics yesterday. What do you guys think of these two teams? What do you think they're going to do in the playoffs?
Yeah, I think that the Yankees probably have, I talked about it before the show with Peyton Waddell, actually, that I think they have a really good offense with Aaron Judge and Juan Soto. I think that is all they really need with that pitching that they got. But as far as the Brewers, I think the Brewers are probably one of the worst teams coming into the playoffs. They just won the Central. No team's really that good in the Central this year, so yeah.
The thing with the Brewers is it's like the same old story every year. There's questions in the offseason if their pitching staff's going to be what it was years prior. Obviously, this year it wasn't. Losing Burns, Woodruff still hurt. Yeah. Guys have stepped up, though. Willie Adames, William Contreras, Jackson Churio is probably going to Skeens is going to win Rookie of the Year, but he's going to be up there for Rookie of the Year. They always get bounced in a division round anyways, so I guess we'll just have to wait and see. On the Yankees, the other hand, they have like two players in that lineup. I know Peyton's in the back there. He's probably pretty mad
Can't
here.
sleep on Anthony Volpe.
Hey, I'm the same thing. And I thought what he said was a pretty important thing. He goes, they have two players. They have Soto and they got Judge. And you need more when it comes to the playoffs. You need more depth when it comes to your hitting rotation. And you need them to come alive. And the Yankees haven't been able to figure out how to come alive in the playoffs yet. So I'm curious to see. Yeah, because they have the talent.
And the bullpen's just, Clay Holmes, that guy's such a
Yeah, they got Luke Weaver, though.
Luke Weaver, he's been good.
One guy.
He's been good.
Everybody's got one guy.
I think pitching is just the most important thing when it comes to the postseason. Because your hitting can do all that, but whenever you're facing top lineups, you're going to need strong pitching.
Your pitching rotation will be better than the other teams.
Exactly.
You guys think the Yankees are going to throw the bag of Juan Soto?
They should.
I think they are.
I think he's perfect there.
He's going to get a big offer from the Mets, a crosstown team, obviously. But I think the Yankees are going to find a way to get the deal. You have to with a guy like that.
Being from New York, going to the games and hearing the roll call and hearing Juan Soto, my heart's
unbelievable, right?
Plus, he can easily hit 330 home runs with that Ford Field. So
got Judge with 53. Yeah. What can't they do? I'm saying the sky's the limit for the Yankee team.
Kind of.
They can turn it up. They can turn it up at some point.
They can't do a couple things, actually.
Don't sleep on them.
Do you think Judge breaks 62?
Win in the playoffs?
He's got he has 10 games left about? Do you think he
guess who the Yankees finish the season with?
Does he beat his record from 2 years ago?
He finished with the Pirates. So, Yankees could mash on the Pirates.
That's true, yeah.
I think he does it. I don't see it.
If there's one guy that can do it, it's him.
Yeah, exactly.
The Yankees are making their 7th trip in 9 seasons, but haven't won a World Series since 2009. It's been a minute.
They beat the Phillies. I remember.
That makes me happy.
Always in the playoffs.
I was a young kid. Are you just trying to hurt my feelings this show? Talk about Sean O'Malley and then the Yankees beating the Phillies. It's cool.
Terrible. It's fine. Terrible. All right. Next up, we got some sad news. Unfortunately, Woj, our beloved Woj.
Wrong one.
Wrong one. I'm so sorry.
Hey, it's one of our first guys back. It's cool.
Let's switch it back. We're getting that later. Everyone right now, we're going to go through this under the radar. We're going to go through and name 2 players from any sport there is that you think is underrated. We're going to start off with Pat.
Yeah, I think all right. Well, I had 2 different ones, and I was told I couldn't do it. Hurt my feelings a little bit, but that's fine. We switch up. I'm an agreeable man. I can figure it out. My first one, Demetrius Johnson. He just retired on Saturday, but I think it's still recent enough where we can talk about him. He's one of the greatest UFC fighters of all time. He won 11 straight title fights, but nobody ever wants to really talk about the guy. And he went over to 1, and he won 3 belts there. People look at his record. He has 5 losses. But then he dropped down to a lighter weight class and became dominant for such a long time. I think it was 5 years. He never lost a fight. That's why I have him as one of my underrated fighters. The next one, Millen Williams. You guys might know him. Let me educate you. He's one of the most athletic defensive linemen in the NFL. He had the highest athletic grade when he came out of the draft, and I believe 2020, I think that's when he came out of the draft, Louisiana Tech legend. He's the only one getting pressures for us right now in the Philadelphia Eagles. Our defensive line and run stop is so bad. Seemingly, though, Millen Williams still doing all right for himself, and that's why I have him as one of the most underrated players.
Mighty Mouse, good pick. I like the first pick.
Yeah.
Someone's got to talk about him. No one ever does.
Shout out Eagles. Shout out McCrystal.
Don't shout out the
The
Eagles.
guy
Shout out
behind the
Jets.
camera there likes that
Bart
one.
Olsen.
All right, so you guys probably won't know who this first guy is. Some people back there might. Alexander Barkov, one of the most underrated players in all of NHL. Obviously just won the Stanley Cup, as you could tell by the picture, but he still doesn't get the recognition he deserves, probably because he plays in Florida with that market. It's 2-time Selke winner, best defensive player in the NHL. That's probably the greatest honor, in my opinion, that you could have. Back check, forecheck, crashes the net, finds pucks in front of the net, sets up his teammates, and makes his teammates better. Next. Stephen Kwan, Cleveland Guardians. This guy, I believe he's batting 291 so far this season. Career 300 hitter almost. Career season this year, 13 home runs. The offense goes when he goes. The rest of that Guardians lineup starts hitting when this guy starts hitting. I think he's on the IL right now, but he'll be back before the postseason begins. And Stephen Kwan is another underrated player in the 4 major sports leagues.
I feel like the Guardians as a whole are just underrated.
They are.
I think they
100%.
They just clinched today as well. I think.
yeah?
They just clinched the
Oh, did
playoffs.
they?
Yeah, but yeah, Stephen Kwan I like.
I like it. We're getting through every sport right now. Ben, let's see what you got.
Well, I can't have a board segment without a homer pick. So my very first homer pick is Brian Reynolds. This guy we brought in for Andrew McCutcheon, who is now on the Pirates in we traded for him back in 2019. This guy's just has been a consistent player, consistent player ever since he joined the team. He's just always been hitting home runs. I'm pretty sure he's like 22 home runs now.
Yeah.
Almost 90 RBIs.
Yeah, batting 280. Like, he's just been all around. I feel like he's made a couple All-Stars, but I feel like since he's on the Pirates, there's not a lot of, like no one's going to talk about the Pirates, especially with how bad they've been recently. So, but yeah, Brian Reynolds. Next pick is all the way over in Colorado, Denver, Cortland Sutton. No one talks about Cortland Sutton. Yeah, I think that, he hasn't had a 1,000-yard season since 2019, but I don't even know if you can blame him. I mean, the QBs that he had, Russell Wilson's been his best QB, and even he has been mediocre. But he had to deal with a lot at the quarterback position, not getting the targets that he deservingly thinks. I think that they should trade him at the deadline, preferably
The
Pittsburgh Steelers. They need another wide receiver. I think that with Cortland Sutton added to the Steelers, he could be good. But as long as he's on Denver, Denver's not going to win anything. So I think Cortland Sutton should get traded, but I think he's underrated. Same thing as Brian Reynolds. He's on the Denver Broncos.
No quarterback. What about Jared Stidham?
Jared Stidham? My bad. Forgot about him.
Cortland Sutton's always been one of those guys who's like a fringe star, I want to say.
Yeah, he's a freak of nature.
Yeah, he's awesome.
Fast.
Like you said, never had a
Can't get the ball
quarterback.
to him.
Case Keenum.
Russell Wilson for a year.
Yeah,
He
Russell
was
Wilson.
buns.
Hey, Case Keenum got to an NFC championship.
True, I guess.
All right,
He got
for
killed
mine, I'm taking this back
by
to New
your
York.
Eagles, but yeah.
My first one, Quincy Williams. You might be saying, why is an all-pro linebacker on an underrated list? It's because he's not a household name somehow. This guy's all over the field. Robert Saleh on the staff, they turned him just from a speedy linebacker to a coverage guy, a pass rusher, a run stopper. This guy can do it all. And come on, when you see a celebration, when he gets someone, he blasts through the gap, he's there for the tackle for loss, and come on. There's nothing more hype than that. All right, next up, we're going to take this to the NBA, the first basketball player, LaMelo Ball. You want to look at aura, look at this guy. He's got a Hawk Tua tattoo on his back. This guy is probably the most fun player to watch in the NBA when he's on the court. He's an elite playmaker, probably the best passer in the NBA. He's a great shooter. He's a ball handler. He does it all. The only thing he doesn't have is a team. And when he gets that team, I'm praying they send him to San Antonio, give him Wemby, give him a squad. Until then, we're not going to see nothing, but he's underrated in my eyes.
I don't know if Feastable sponsored the Hornets. Look at that, Mr. Beast.
Yeah, I remember seeing that last year on a Sports Center post.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a beast. All right, next up.
Wow, comment.
Yeah, that got me confused. I'm like, wait a second. What?
All right, here we go. We're going back. I said it before. We're going back to it. Woj, he's retired. He's going to become the GM of his alma mater. With that being said, we got to talk our favorite Woj bombs of all time. Starting off with me, we're going to go right to it. Look at this. The NBA has suspended the NBA season. When I saw this, all right, let's go through a little story. So my parents, my family, my teachers, the news, everyone was telling me the world is ending with COVID, right? I didn't believe him. I was like, yeah, whatever. Like, let's say all say that. This tweet comes out. Woj says this, bro, broke my heart. I was like, wow, the world's really ending. It's really it.
Mm-hmm. I remember that exact moment. Like, I feel like we've all lived that moment.
I remember I was sitting on my couch. My mom was to my left, and I think that the Mavericks were playing during when this kid, he went on SVP. The Mavericks were playing. He's like, NBA canceled the season. Rudy Gobert tested positive for the coronavirus. Yeah, touches on the mics and everything.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is like you said. This is like the one moment where I'm like, all right, all these sports leagues are shutting down.
Yeah.
We're shutting down. The world's shutting down.
Yeah.
And that's that.
All right, next up, we got Austin's.
Yeah, so I'm not really a big NBA guy, but I do remember this when Russell Westbrook was traded to the Houston Rockets. Russell Westbrook, I'm from South Florida, so I follow the Heat. But obviously Russell Westbrook and Durant played against the Heat in the finals that one year. I thought Westbrook was untouchable. I thought he was going to be part of the Thunder for his whole career.
Yep.
He won MVP what year was that? Like 2016 or something.
Like that.
Yeah, so
2018.
2018?
Yeah, I think so.
So he won MVP 2018, leads the league in dimes every year pretty much, and that's that.
Triple-double king.
Yeah, I forgot to mention that too.
Prime
Triple-double
Russ
king.
was like no other.
I remember exactly when that trade happened.
Yeah.
Shell shocked looking at my phone.
Oh, yeah.
No way.
Prime Russ, the top 5 point guard of all time.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Nice little.
Yeah. All right.
Well,
Very
my pick is kind of the same as Jacob's here, but this is when we kind of all found out that Rudy Gobert was like the reason, like it was all kind of like spreading around the NBA, especially there. But yeah, I think it's seeing that, like it's just nostalgic, super nostalgic, with how everything was going with what is it with whole COVID for coronavirus and everything like that.
Hot take. I love quarantine.
But,
I'm gonna be honest.
It was
Yeah,
awesome.
no, I loved it.
Just
That's why I think about it all the
Just
time.
sit there, play
'Cause
video games all
whenever I
day.
think about COVID,
No school.
I just think of like not doing anything,
Yeah.
just sitting
Warzone all
inside.
day long.
Yeah.
That was the
It's
life.
amazing
playing
that
Fortnite,
that,
but this
was a life.
that
Yeah.
was already more than 4 years ago already.
Yeah,
Crazy,
it's crazy
man.
to think about.
All right, Pat, what you got?
One, I gotta say, we love you, Woj. But I just love this tweet. If you know the story behind it, it's because he was given every other pick. He's like the Sixers pick, blah blah blah. Then people are like, give us more energy. So he types out enamored, which is a word I don't think I've used since like a freshman paper and going on dictionary.com, like what's a synonym for this word? And I was like, ooh, enamored, trying to be slick with my teacher and get a 96. I probably didn't. Probably got a 72 or something, but that's beside the point. And then he spells Landry Shamit's name as Shamut, which is not how you spell it, by the way. And as a Sixers fan, I love the guy. I thought Landry Shamet was a great player, but I just thought it was a funny tweet. I thought it said 1,000 words in a couple words, and that's why I liked it.
Yeah, well, he ended up being like a bench guy.
He was a great 3-and-D player.
Yeah,
It was all right. We got to use
Hey, he's a Nick now.
6 man.
He's a Nick now.
He's a Nick now.
Yeah.
You're gonna see him in the Garden. He's gonna got that place rocking for sure. All right, moving on. Tonight it's Thursday night. Get Thursday night football in the AFC East rivalry game. Will the Aaron Rodgers-led New York Jets defeat New England Patriots in their season opener in MetLife?
No, probably not. There's 3 things that you can guarantee you on life. It's death, taxes, and the Jets probably aren't going to be very good at football.
Unbelievable.
That's just how it is. Aaron
Same
Rodgers is
old,
42 years
same
old. He
old.
might not be the worst quarterback in the league, but he's not a top 10 quarterback anymore. Defense is still good, although they look really bad in their first game. And the offensive line just isn't that. We thought it was going to be that. It's still not that good.
I disagree. This year, somehow, the offense is better than the defense. The offensive line so far, they've shown up. Tyron Smith, he's made a
Still,
huge
they're
difference.
great.
John Simpson's doing his stuff. Joe Tippmann, one of the best centers in the league. The D-line, though, it's looking a little rusty. I'm not going to lie. We lost a lot of our the Jets lost a lot of their interior defensive linemen.
You need to sign us on already.
Yep.
You need to sign
Now
us
they
on.
lost their
Sign
top
him,
edge
yeah.
rusher to a torn
You could have Bryce
Achilles.
Huff back. He's terrible.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Terrible.
We could have told you that as the Jets.
No, I think the Jets will pull off. Will end the streak
Yeah.
tonight. I think for sure. Because
Yeah,
I think the Pats have a chance. They haven't looked
I mean,
that
the Pats
bad.
have
Every team has a
that's what
Jacoby
I'm
chance.
Brissett
saying.
is a Pats legend. So.
The Pats have
Home
not looked too
opener.
bad.
Home opener at MetLife, obviously. Aaron Rodgers, that defense too. I don't see a world where Jacoby Brissett goes in there and defeats Aaron
Yeah, man.
Rodgers.
I say about one world, and it's this one, and then the Pats are going to win. by 30.
Well, maybe you're
No
right.
way.
He may
I
be
just
40.
love to hate.
Well,
That's just what I am.
you know that the New England's going to play stingy defense. They
Yep,
always
for
do,
sure.
no matter, even though
Christian Gonzalez,
Belichick's gone.
top corner
He's
in the
good.
league.
That'll be an
Absolutely,
interesting
yes,
matchup to
absolutely.
watch, too.
Kendrick Bourne, top receiver in the league.
Solis and Kendrick Bourne. That's gonna be what a matchup that's gonna be, huh?
Hey, Utah State legend.
Jets haven't beat them since 2015 at home, but the
That
streak's
ends
gonna end
tonight. That
tonight.
ends
What do you
tonight.
guys think? What do you guys think? Score predictions.
I think it's going to be a low-scoring game. I
I
don't think
think so,
either
too.
offense is really that good. I would say. I mean, besides maybe the Jets have a pretty good offense, but I think the Jets will win 20-12.
Yeah, I think it's also going to be a very low-scoring game. I think it gets into the 20s, though, maybe like 21-18 or something with a few funky plays.
Yeah.
I think this is going to be an not extremely low-scoring game, but a low-scoring game. And I still am sticking with the Pats. I think it's going to be 17-14 New England.
All right, I got you. I'm feeling the Jets' little offensive explosion. I feel like a Jets nice calm 28, and the Pats nice like 7. 28 to 17 is like a nice game. We're gonna go through some of the NFL games for this Sunday.
What's
Giants
we got?
Browns.
We got
Giants, Browns.
Browns.
What do you guys think about that?
I take the under.
Yeah.
It's just it's going to be a
That's
bad
terrible.
game. Both defenses are great fantasy picks for me.
Yeah.
But it's just the most underwhelming game ever. Deshaun Watson isn't that good at football. Daniel Jones might be even worse at football.
Yeah.
Although Deshaun Watson did look better last week than
did.
usually.
This is one of those games where you're sitting there watching like whatever team you like on Sunday, and you're like, oh, that just happened in that game. Let me check my fantasy team. One of those. Like you said, Deshaun Watson trash, Daniel Jones trash, low-scoring game. The Giants are just trash in general.
They're trash.
I think
They're
it's just going to be a
terrible.
battle of. I think it's just if the Browns defense can come to play. I mean, clearly they have the better,
I'm sure
the
they
better
will. They
defense
will.
here. Daniel Jones, not looking too good. So
How about them Eagles, though? Playing the Saints.
yeah, well,
They're not going to be able to put 47.
I guess that's a-
Eagles are
47,
kind of
but-
concerning in my
Yeah.
opinion.
I think the Saints
After
will
last
beat
week,
them.
All right,
that was
all
bad.
right.
I think
get
the
it.
Saints
I
will
know. I know.
Saints
And
will win.
Derek Carr's
Yep.
lighting it up too. So
What do you think about Packers Titans?
Packers, Titans.
Oh, revenge game for Malik.
Yeah,
Willis.
that's true.
Packers still didn't look that bad last week with Malik at the
Yeah.
helm.
I picked the Colts last week, and obviously they lost. So
What?
I was surprised with the Packers. Their defense is
They
good.
just have
Yeah.
talent all over the
Yeah.
I
field.
feel like the Titans, they're a good football team. They have names. They just don't know how to put it together.
Yeah.
Like,
I
they're
think that's
struggling.
always been the issue with the Titans, especially when, even when they were winning the AFC, they had all these names and they could win football games in the regular season. But when it mattered, they had Ryan Tannehill and now
Yeah.
they have Will Levis, two guys that, while they have all the talent in the world, I don't think they're the guy.
Well,
think-
you're not going to win with Will Levis at the helm. I'm sorry.
He's made way too many mistakes.
Yeah.
I think
He's just a bit too clumsy in the pocket.
Talk about Baker Mayfield though.
Baker,
MVP.
man.
He's my
Good for
MVP.
him, man.
Oh
What do
yeah.
you think about Bears Colts?
Bears Colts. I mean, I think
Anthony Richardson.
AR is not looking too good. I think Caleb Williams can win.
No, you
win
know what? This is a good.
Williams ain't looking that good either.
Yeah, but he's a rookie.
Yeah, it's
Anthony
only 2
Richardson
weeks.
was heralded as like the greatest quarterback
Yeah.
in the league
The
after
week
like
one.
Yeah.
week
So
one,
I
he had
thought.
one throw in a 56% passer rating. He wasn't that good. He still isn't that good. He doesn't know how to read a defense in the slightest.
Well, here's the thing. Remember when Florida played Utah week 1, like Richardson's final year there at Florida?
Yeah, and they got blown out.
Well, first of all, Richardson barely even played at Florida. Let's get that out of the way.
Yeah.
Then he makes that throw on the 2-point conversion. All of a sudden, he's #1 pick, Mr. Superstar,
Yep.
all this stuff.
He's an athletic freak.
you
His arm
said,
is a freak.
he
People
is.
talk about his
But
arm
what good's that
strength,
if you
but-
can't read a defense?
Yeah.
Can't read
Exactly.
defense. He's not
At the end of
accurate.
the
He
day.
You
doesn't
can have all the
good
talent in the
pocket
world if you
presence.
don't have the fundamentals.
Yeah. I think he needs more time. Give him some more time.
Yeah,
He's-
coming
when you
off
think
an
about it, he's
injury, too.
basically still a rookie. Last year he missed
Yeah,
most of the season with the I
'Cause
don't know
he's-
what he tore something, and you got to give him time. He wasn't there to see. So now you came in week 1, he had a great game. Week 2, all right, he fell off, and it was against a pretty solid defense.
Yeah, Packers have a pretty
What
good
do we
defense.
They
think
have a
about
good defense.
Texans Vikings?
Texans.
Texans Vikings. I want to see the Vikings.
I think
win
that's a
that
good game.
I'm such on the
Same.
team.
I think
I
the
want
Vikings will win.
Vikings have a great defense, and they proved
Yeah.
that against the
Houston's offense
Niners.
doesn't
surprising
look.
defense.
Houston's offense looked rough against Chicago.
It was all right. Stroud still threw for like
Yeah,
250.
But like, it's not like what we are.
Can I say a
fully
hot take? I
expecting.
think Stroud's a system quarterback.
Oof.
That is.
Very
I think he got
scorching
put in
hot.
there with so much talent and everything else in D'Amico Ryan's system and the offensive coordinator they have. I forget his name right now. But I think if you drop Caleb Williams in that same offense last year, he's doing the same exact thing.
What would you want Stroud to do, though? You know what I mean?
I'm not saying he
Because
should. He had a
you're
great
supposed
season.
to build around your franchise quarterback.
I get that. And
That's
that's
what
not
they
what I'm
did.
saying. I'm
Yep.
just saying he didn't look that way at Ohio State. He was a great quarterback at Ohio State. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying he didn't look like the same player he is now
Yeah.
in Houston that he was in Ohio State. And I just think it's because of all this talent he has around him. And I think if you give the other guys that opportunity, I think they do very similar things.
I completely disagree. I think he is Like, compare Brock Purdy to C.J. Stroud. C.J. Stroud has a tremendous arm. He knows how to
Don't
read
get me
the
started on
field.
Brock Purdy.
Brock Purdy, we don't got to talk because he got dismantled by the Vikings last week. C.J. Stroud, that's not going to happen to him. He's going to read these defenses. He's going to get it done. Brock Purdy, after the game last week, went up to Brian Flores and was like, wow, like your scheme is extraordinary.
Yeah, I saw that.
That's terrible,
You guys
man.
think about Eagles Saints?
Eagles Saints? Oh, I hope this
You could probably touch on this better than all of us. But
Well, listen, we have A.J. Brown out. That's cool. We just need our defense to play better. That last game was not our offense's fault. Yeah, we didn't look great. Jalen Hurts actually looked not bad in that game. I thought he actually played pretty well and kind of put the team on his back when it needed to be. Our offensive line, our pass protection needs to get a whole lot better. I think our run blocking is still phenomenal. We just need to find a way to get the ball down the field a little bit more, and we need to find a way to stop the other team from getting the ball down the field in 45 seconds.
Yeah, I think the Saints won't drop a 40 bomb this week, but I think they'll drop 35 to 20.
yeah, you got to stop Kamara first. Everything runs through him. You seen it last week at Dallas. Carl, all he had to do was dump it off for like 4 yards, and he took it to that crib for like 60. He had like 40 fantasy
How about
points,
Derek
too.
Carr coming back?
I was playing.
Good for Carr. I've always
Yeah.
liked Carr, too. And the Raiders shoved him out of town.
Saints,
He
the
gets a
Saints,
bad rap.
Saints
It's a
fans
very
are ready
bad
to dump him
Yeah,
off.
last year they were
Last
like, get
year.
this guy out of here. He's a bum.
He
and
just didn't really
he's-
have much around.
Yeah.
I hope
feel
he
like has
keeps it
more
up.
this year.
Carr's been in the playoffs like 6 times in his career. He's had like 4 10-win
Yeah.
seasons, and he gets a bad rap. He beat the
Yeah.
Chiefs a bunch of times, especially when they had Mahomes in that second year. They beat him. Carr's a good quarterback. He's thrown for over 4,000 yards numerous amount of times, and he just gets a bad rap from everybody because sometimes he can't win games.
Because he's just
he's
not
on
that,
the Raiders.
He's just not that
he's on the
flashy
Saints
guy,
last year.
too, that everybody
He's just,
likes.
Yeah, the basic filter. And I think they picked up a pretty good offensive coordinator as well.
I love their
Kubiak.
offensive coordinator.
Yeah,
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 I think that's what was the big thing.
We just got to stop Rashid Shaheed. That dude
Yeah,
scares me.
he's speedy.
He's got
so
the last
fast.
2 weeks, complete 4 catches for like 110.
He's blazing past.
It's unbelievable.
Blazing past Trayvon Diggs, who isn't a great cover.
No, he's
corner.
never
I
been
mean,
a
it's
great
pretty
cover.
easy to get
Hands,
past the
but-
guy, but
All right, what about Chargers Steelers?
Ooh, my
Here we
Steelers.
go.
I don't know.
Herbert, I believe, is questionable. He'll probably play. Steelers, somehow 2-0, have scored only 1 touchdown through 2 weeks. It's the same old story with them. We could probably have a whole show just based on the Steelers and Mike Tomlin and his Tomlinisms. I think the Steelers somehow squeak it out. It'll be close, maybe like 13-10, because why not? That's what it always is. What do you think?
With that defense, I think they can win
Yeah.
a majority of their games. But I think this is a big test for Justin Fields because like he's looked all right. He's made some nice throws, but it's like we haven't really seen him like. I feel like the offense hasn't really exploded yet. You know what I mean? I think we've only putting up like 13 points and
Maybe
then
they're
18
hiding
points.
something, too. They don't
Yeah,
wanna,
I think. I mean, as I talked about it earlier, got to bring in another receiver. Bring in
I
another
live
have
with a
to.
Steelers fan. I'm friends with Steelers fans. I didn't realize you guys were so annoying until we lost to the Falcons because you guys beat them the week before.
Yeah.
I don't like when fans
I
do that.
did not know you guys were that annoying. I got texts all over the place coming from left and right. This, and that. Justin Fields isn't that guy. He still can't throw a football. He had two good throws last week. 2.
We agree
what
with
do
you.
they
No,
count?
I agree with you. I don't know if you like. I know you like Fields, but
I do. I'm a Steelers
He's an
guy.
athlete. I'll give you that.
I'll say it right here. Until Tomlin's gone, nothing's going to change with the Steelers. It's the same thing every
9-8.
single week. It's like we're watching the same game on repeat
If I
every
get rid of
single
Matt
week.
Canada, would have done something.
No, they've had 3 offensive coordinators. It's been the same thing. The best one's Todd Haley, and he's pinned as the worst.
Yeah.
And at least they put up points with him.
With Arthur Smith, that ground game's looking better. With
Yeah, it
Najee
is.
and Moran. So the run blocking looks way better.
Still can't score touchdowns. Though.
Yeah,
Nope.
just can't find it.
It's the Steeler way. Find a way to
Find
win
a way to
without
win.
scoring touchdowns.
That defense
So,
can
You guys are.
keep you in it.
All right, last one, Broncos Bucks.
Baker
Oh, come on,
Mayfield.
Baker, man.
Oh, that's a
We already kind of touched on Mayfield.
yeah.
Cleveland rushed him out of town, kind of similar to Carr, like we already said. I was always a Mayfield fan, even out of college, even though all the antics coming out of Oklahoma. He carries himself well, I believe. He's a competitor, and that's the one thing you could really want in a player is competitiveness. He's going to go out there and work hard every single time. The Bucs offense, on the other hand, is insane. This guy, Evans, just throw him a 50-50 ball. It's 100-0.
They're all like 30 years old. Like Chris
Yeah,
Godwin's
yeah.
like
Chris
29,
Godwin.
Mike
All of a
Evans
sudden,
like
they found the
33.
fountain of youth, too. Rashad
Rashad
White.
somehow is
Yep.
good at football. All of a sudden, they picked him up one day and they're like, you're good at football now. Bo Nix, you hurt my feelings because I thought you were going to be very good out of college. I thought you were hyper accurate, and you're not.
Because
You're
he was
not
25
that good.
years old already.
All right, well, so is everybody now. I hate that argument, but he hurt my feelings, and he's not good in the NFL. Maybe Sean Payton
It's
ruined
2
him.
weeks, so.
Yeah, give him a chance.
No,
Yeah, I
I'm
mean,
done.
he's
I'm
had to
selling.
play a couple tough defenses to start the year.
looked really bad.
Pittsburgh is D, but
I
yeah,
personally-
I think Baker Mayfield was a great signing by the Bucs. I mean, I couldn't imagine how Browns fans are feeling.
I think Bo Nix is a bad quarterback, but He's a rookie. You got to give him some time.
Gotta
see
give
what
him time,
happens.
yeah.
I'll give him
Yeah.
time.
I always say throughout the rookie year, and just bring him back the second year and
Yeah.
see what happens.
Yeah.
Because
Well, anyways,
Can't do
guys,
much.
Thursday night football. The Jets are going to win this game tonight. You
Nope.
already know it.
I
We're gonna
agree
look
with you.
I think so.
To next week, we got more shows coming on. We got football and some others. We got a lot of sports coming up. Make sure to check it out. But thank you guys for tuning in. I hope you guys have a good one.